Hello, Radioheads. You know I'm L-Man. I'm here with Asher Warren, a 15-year-old sophomore from San Diego, California, in high school, who's written how many published books? And you have a podcast? What?
Yeah, so I have written one published book, and that number will be two as of the 20th. And
I
I
bet.
have a podcast, yes, with my best friend, and it is called the Thin Ice Podcast.
Okay, cool. So how did you get books published at such a young age?
So I used a platform called Amazon KDP, which is Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, and it's
Mhm.
just a free thing where you can publish on Amazon or on Kindle. And I feel like it's just a pretty good way to just get yourself out there at any age. And that's how I've published my book so far.
Really cool. And how did you write books at such a young age? How did you have the confidence to know that you could do it?
I don't know. I've been writing since I was 7, as long as I can remember. That's this far back. But I don't remember what got me started. I think I just started one day.
Mhm.
I just like creating stories to tell. So
So the whole idea, so usually before I do anything, I have to know that I can do it before I do it. I have to see that vision. Did anyone ever tell you, like, wow, you're such a great writer? Did you get accolades? Did you get pats on the back?
I kind of just did it. Uh,
Interesting.
I just thought it was
Okay.
fun. So I was like, oh, this is something that's fun that you can turn into a career. Might as well do it.
Wow.
That's
Wow. So you didn't have your teachers like pull you up in front of the class and say, what an amazing writer.
never, no,
No?
that only time that would happen would be in creative writing, but that happened with everyone. So
Okay.
nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So this is more something that came from within you that
Yeah.
you had a drive to do, and it wasn't your parents' wish
No,
or
no, no. Yeah.
okay, interesting. Side note, my dad's a dentist, and according to my grandpa, his dad, my Papa Irving, my grandpa, brainwashed my dad from a young age to become a dentist because he would take him to the dentist and say, look at him. He does well. This is a good job. And my dad still thinks it was his idea to become a dentist, but no, no, he probably was brainwashed from a young age. So that's part of the reason why I asked that question as well.
Yeah.
So
When I was like 4, I would do like little comic books and then actual writing when I was 7. So no brainwashing involved.
no brainwashing. Oh man, I was hoping for some MK Ultra story here.
Huh.
Maybe the CIA getting involved, using you as a spy. Oh, well.
No, not
All right,
quite.
maybe there's still hope. All right, next question, switching gears. So you said in an interview that kids made fun of and bullied you because you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. Another 14-year-old at the time, I think she's 15 now, uh, told me the same thing happened to her.
Yeah.
So why do you think that you two were bullied for writing a book, which, if you wrote a book at 40, most people wouldn't be bullying you.
Yeah.
They'd be wanting to be your friend. So how did you deal with the bullying and why did they bully you?
So why they bullied is actually I get their reasoning, even though it doesn't really make sense. So this isn't like a typical book. My little cousin, I forgot how old he was. I think he was turning 5, and he loved the video game Minecraft. So for his
Hmm.
birthday, I wrote him a little thing. It was like 100 pages, pretty short. And in order to get the copy sent to him, because I only wanted to make it for him, I was forced to publish it. So I only had it up for about a month. But
Ah,
somehow, I didn't want anyone to know about it. It was just for him. Somehow, kids from my school found it and ordered a bunch of copies and then would not stop harassing me with it. But that didn't really bother me because my kind of response was, sure, you're waving something around in my face that's a little embarrassing, but in order to do that, you had to buy it, which made me money. So
right.
I was like, oh, I was like, it doesn't matter how I sell. If people are making fun of it, it still makes me money. So I just kept on
Yeah.
writing. So
Wait a second.
I think I deal with bullying pretty well. Or what I'll do is, this is kind of funny, I'll take their name and put it as like a really dumb or bad character in the next book, and then
Yeah.
they'll read that, and it's usually pretty funny.
Do you think they'll know it's them?
Yeah, yeah, definitely will. I haven't done it
And
yet, but
how many of your bullies do you think bought your book?
I don't know. I have no idea. There's a lot of people that have it. I don't know the number. I know like 5 confirmed, but I don't know any others.
Yeah, well, they say, what is it like? Well, haters, if you don't have haters, then you're probably not doing well. So, you have
Definitely,
haters from 15,
definitely.
so
Yeah.
maybe you're doing well. Or maybe you're just very hate worthy. No, no, no. I'm just kidding. Okay. So you deal with the bullies well, and if you keep blowing up, you're probably gonna have more bullies. So be ready for that.
That's fine though. I mean, blowing up is more bullies, but then more bullies equals more sales. So
Exactly.
it doesn't really help them. It just helps me. Like, thank you for giving me money, I guess.
Right?
That's
Wait. So speaking of these bullies, my last question on this. What characters have you written or going to write based on a specific bully? I want some dirt.
there's one character I'm not gonna say his name because it's a very unique name, and if he's
Okay,
not this, I don't want to get in trouble. But
sure.
there's a character that I do want to incorporate, not quite yet, maybe a year down the line when I can really
Okay.
when I'm a lot better at writing, so I can write him a lot better or worse. It depends how you want to go at it. And I want to make him exactly what he is, which is manipulative, lying, and backstabbing. And uh, if you're listening, you definitely know who you are. But I'm not going to drop any names, but I really, really want to have that as a character in some book. I just got to figure out how to fit him in.
Does it give you some relief to know that you can have some type of justice?
Yeah, I already have had my justice with him. This is just
Cool.
kind of this
Okay.
would just be the cherry on top. Uh, but yeah, it would give me a little bit of relief. It definitely would.
Yeah, it does. It gives me some relief knowing that upon my death, I will release tons of books and files about anyone on my S list. And number two, well, just like Taylor Swift writes songs, you write books, put people in them, and I will write films or full-length movies, and I will be putting the people that should be wiped off the face of the earth in these movies. So
Exactly. Yeah.
so thanks, Taylor Swift, for the inspiration. Okay, switching gears. So you have an upcoming book, The
Yeah.
Trees Are Breathing, which will
Yes.
be released May 20th. Tell us
I
about this.
so I can't really describe it exactly. I can give a little synopsis. This is probably out of everything I've ever written over the years, like even like when I as a kid, this is my favorite because
Mhm.
it's the originality that I like. So I'll just give a quick little synopsis. I made the main character actually based off my dad's same name and everything. So it follows two people. They're in their late 40s, Adam and Dick or Richard, whatever you call them.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they basically have this TV show, kind of like Bear Grylls, where they go out into the wilderness and they explore all this. But the thing is that they have families, so they can't continue this without risk getting injured or hurt because they want to come back at the end of the day. So they're shooting their season finale at the end of everything, which is a huge theme in the book of trying to having to let go of something you've been going on for so many years.
Mhm.
But before they start to go, Adam starts to have these weird dreams and thoughts and about all these bad things that can happen because they're traveling to Siberia for 1 week for the finale.
Right.
And he tells his friend, he tells his wife, and they're like, then don't go. But he's like, I have to do this. I need to feel fulfilled. So he goes on the trip with his friend, and everything that's kind of been happening starts amplifying, and everything that he envisioned starts coming true. And they realize that it was actually the sinister work of it's a Slavic god named Lechi. I can't really describe him, but he's really cool. I had to do a lot of research on him. He's cool though.
Oh,
So
interesting. Okay.
kind of a little thing about it.
That's pretty inventive. Probably not nonfiction, probably fiction, right?
I don't write.
Right, right. Okay, so we're going to switch gears a little bit too. I was listening to a different interview with you, and you said that your first book is never going to be your best book. It's a stepping stone for the future. Very well said. And you mentioned that you might hear and read a lot of criticism. So, what are some critiques you've received, and how do you handle criticism?
So for my first book, received a lot of very good feedback, a lot of okay feedback, and a lot of very bad feedback.
Hmm.
I have kind of just learned to not care because, like I said, I've been bullied a lot, so I've just kind of let it fly by. But I've received 5-star reviews, I've received 1-star reviews, so
Hmm.
I just kind of accept it, learn to accept it. Like I've had a review that says like kept me on the edge of my seat, loved it, characters are great. But then I've also had another review saying it's the worst thing I've ever read. It
Wow.
doesn't you just can't let it get to you because if you let it get to you, you'll typically want to stop writing. So you just
Yeah.
have to let it go by. Then like I said, it's not going to be your best. Write something better. And then eventually the bad reviews should start getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
You can't please everyone, but you can always upset someone.
Exactly. Yeah.
There will always be someone that you could upset. So
Exactly.
your other book, Maniacal,
That's
could
the
you
one.
tell us about that and why did you write about this topic?
This is the most random thing. I hate writing that genre, which is slasher. I love watching it. I watched this TV show called Slasher, and that was my inspiration. So what it's about, it's your cliche group of friends who have to basically not die from a murderer. That's all there is to it. It's not the
Right?
most creative. What I'll say about it is that it's kind of just a quick, fun read. It'll take, I don't know, an hour to read it, not that long.
Hmm.
That's really all there is to say about it. I don't want to sound like I'm talking bad about my first book, but I kind of am.
Okay.
But it's a little weird. Authors typically don't do that, but I'm very blunt. So I'll
I
admit,
do. I do that all the
best
time.
it's not the best thing I've ever written, but it's not the
Hmm.
worst. That's all it's about. It's just the kids killer. Nothing super crazy about it.
Well, it's interesting because I mean, I have a health book that I wrote, but I don't do too much writing these days, full movies, but I shoot a lot of movies lately, constantly shooting a movie.
Cool.
And I find this is just the truth that a lot of filmmakers start off with music videos.
Okay.
And as far as their first full-length feature, a lot of them do like campy horror because it's easy to shoot these slasher
It's
films.
very easy
You
to
know,
write.
it's easy storylines, you're slashing someone, it's not rocket science. Whereas like something like Curb Your Enthusiasm or a very verbose, dialogue heavy comedy like Curb Your Enthusiasm, it's harder. It's a lot harder. It requires a little more brain power. So it kind of makes sense that this would be your first book.
I think that might be why I started with it because I knew that it's something that doesn't take much creativity to do. Exactly like you said, it's
Mhm.
create a character, create a villain, kill the
Yeah,
character, kill the villain. That's it.
yeah,
So it's a very easy thing to start off with, and at the same time, it's either going to please someone or really upset them. So
yeah, yeah.
it's just it's a good start because it can help you boost into other genres.
So you're just one more example that the slashers are a great stepping stone to creating greatness, as you said.
Exactly.
It's just an easy thing to start. So if you're listening and you want to write a book or make a movie,
Slasher.
just make a slasher because a lot of people do it and then they go on making millions and they do really well.
Exactly.
Switching gears. You also said in the same interview, don't give up. I used to give up very easily. I'd say since about 2018, 2019, I just tell myself whenever I want to give up, just give myself a break. You want to give up? Take a break. So, how do you handle any feelings or anyone telling you to give up? How do you keep going? What makes you keep
Uh,
going?
as I've said throughout the interview, I kind of ignore people, but at the very few times where it does get to me, I I don't exactly know because it doesn't happen that often.
Hmm.
I just have to keep going. And if I do feel down, I still have to force myself to write. But what's interesting, which I do, is that if I have a certain mood, like I don't feel writing, or if I feel what's happening is boring, I'll add a quick little plot twist here and there or something, which will
Right,
make the book better and also makes me happy because I get to write something that I actually want to write about instead of having to follow the
right.
script. So with bad criticism, with like a beat down of like give up, I kind of let that fly by and I just don't let things like that get to me because you can't. Because if you do let it get,
Similar question. What makes you do this? And because writing requires sacrifice, you're
yes, very
usually
much so.
not social. I mean, I guess you could write with your dog or cat, and you could write with a group of friends if you're all quiet, but what makes it worth the sacrifice? Why do you keep doing this? What's the bigger purpose, the
I don't
why?
find it a huge sacrifice because typically when I
Okay.
write, I'll write in homeroom, which I have around 30 minutes to write, and I do 1,000 words a day,
Wow.
around or more. I can get that done there, or I can get it done during class. So I don't find it actually a sacrifice because
Wow.
I do it in my downtime. So then I do have quite a lot of time to be social.
Wow.
So
And do
yeah,
you have certain people in your life that support you as a writer?
yeah. I have my mom, my stepmom, my dad, kind of, and then my friends and my girlfriend. They all support me, and then my grandparents
Right.
are also huge supporters.
It helps. It
Yeah,
definitely helps.
very
But
much.
you think if you didn't have any support system, you'd still be writing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I would because it's something that I like to do, and even if people are disapproving, I've found that even so far, like everything's been going well. So even if I don't have support, I think I still continue it because it's something that I enjoy doing. It's an escape, and I love it. So
Nice. Nice. See, it's interesting. See, for me, writing is sometimes an escape, but usually not because I'm so focused that
yeah,
and I'm so such a perfectionist that it's not an escape at all. So it's probably a really good fit for you because when you can get in the flow of something,
yeah,
something can be an escape. So you're probably doing the right thing. You're in the right field.
an escape because I can just go into whatever world I've created and just live in
Right.
an hour, couple hours, whatever, however long. I can just live in there for a little bit and step away from reality. So.
And my last question, this will be two-part. Tell us the luckiest, best, and or worst choices that you made while writing your books in 3 minutes, and then give us where to find you, social media, website. Tell us where to find you.
So I don't believe in luck, but the best and worst decisions, I have this, I have to think. Best decisions I feel like was first of all, um I gotta think about this one. This is actually a good question. I don't think I've been asked this.
Or biggest mistake. Or like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or like, oh, I'm so glad this happened. Phew.
Uh I don't know. Mistake wise, uh mistake wise, probably when it came to Maniacal, it wasn't exactly the writing portion, but it was the fact that I don't feel like I did enough promoting. And
Okay.
I feel like I kind of have done the same. I haven't done a lot of promoting for the Trees of Breathing, or TTAB. I'll just call it by its acronym. But
Hmm.
it's a little hard to do that because marketing's expensive. So,
Hmm.
but then when it comes to best decision, I don't know. This is a sorry. I got to sorry if this is boring. I just got to think. This is a very good
No,
question.
that's okay.
Um, I can think of a few pretty good decisions. Uh, those are also, like I said, marketing. It's just signing up for little things that have helped me. Oh, I reached out to the newspaper for the city that I live in, and I got an article about me for free. That was pretty good.
Nice.
That got I walked into school the next day and I had kids come up to me telling them that their parents were asking about me. So that was I feel like that was a pretty good decision because that helped spread me around.
Yeah.
Um, that was good. And I don't know.
And it gives confidence, not like it seems you need
Yes.
any, but it does because when you have other people that have this belief in you, I think a lot of times it can energize you and give you that little extra fire needed to get over some of the struggles that you will face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so where can we find you?
So I have Instagram, TikTok, and a website. My Instagram is Asher Robinson 09, ASHERROBINSON 09. But where I'm mainly active on when it comes to my writing is my TikTok, which is Asher Warren Writes, ASHERWARRENWRITES. And then I have a website where you can follow my podcast and my writing, which is warrencreations.com, which is WARRENCREATIONS.com. And that is where you can find me. There's also a link tree in the bio of my Instagram where you can find all of my articles, books, and interviews.
Very nice. And I'll leave you with this. I hope you enjoy the interview. And just remember, now in the days with social media, marketing used to be expensive, but it still can be. But if you're really savvy, you can, for no money, you can have a lot of promotion to the point where you could be super viral, super famous, get yourself out there. So I have lots of ideas if you'd like to ask at another time. But having no budget or just like, let's say you have $500, that's it. That $500 can take you so far that you can be all over the internet and super famous. So don't let a lack of budget get in the way of you not promoting yourself because you can be inventive and just watch other people. You can make it happen. So that's my final horribly spoken tip to this young man. Thank you so much. And back to you in the studio.